Welcome back to Wiz the Supercoach. I've had the shitty 3 weeks. I've had my complaint session about it, and there's only one thing to do now, which is try and get back on track and try and fix it up, really. And I make no apologies for complaining about it either. We'll talk about that a bit later, but yeah, I've had to go one early trade already this week, obviously because the Crom played last night, and what a win that was. But yeah, Marshall out, and I bought in Hugo. So he did well again. I think he got like a 68. So he's going at a 70 average. That's very nice. Now, I probably will use my last boost this week, and that's going to take me down to 10 trades. So it does look likely that I'll get the 23 Primo side and then have a little bit of insurance at the end as well. Yeah, before we get into that, I put the VC on Bont last night. Whoever had Dawson and VC'd him, good on you. That was an amazing game by him. He out-bonted the Bont. But yeah, the Bont 106, bit quiet. And Worrell, sorry, I'm looking at last week's. The Bont 101, quiet for him for sure. Worrell 79, a few quiet ones there. But yeah, Hugo 68. It's not like the greatest score ever, but in terms of a rookie, like pretty happy with that. And then Artie Jones 55. I was actually shocked to see at the end of the game that he had so little of the ball, because from what I saw, Jones kind of looked to be in everything, but I don't know. I only saw the second half as well, so maybe he did nothing in the first half. A couple of goals though. He's just ticking over now, so yeah, maybe he'll go next week. I don't know. We'll get him to his bye maybe. We'll see what we have to do, but yeah, it's going to depend on this week's trades. So I've been hit hard with some injuries and stuff. McInerney, he's the obvious one. He has to go. 8 to 10 week hamstring. I can't hold that. The obvious one for him is getting in Durham. It seems to be pretty popular. Now, I've kind of had to reassess what I want to do with the forwards, and the reason why is because I think that in other lines there's clear-cut players. So the two finishing midfielders that I want is Baz and Noah Anderson. I think they're a bit of a cut above. There's guys like Dawson that are in red hot form, obviously, as well. But yeah, they're the two that I want. And or it might even end up being Dawson and Anderson, or yeah, any combination of those three. But in the forward line, it feels like there's, apart from there's the few here that are going above 100 average. There's Petrarca, Sheasel. Who's the other one? I think there's another one, but the forward line feels a bit different. Like there's a few standouts, and then you kind of throw a blanket over the rest. So let's have a look. It's definitely got me thinking differently with what I wanted to do. Oh, so Tracy's the other one over 100. I don't think I'm going to get him. Nothing against him, but I don't feel like paying 530k for a key forward. I'm actually spewing because last night I was messing around with the trades, and I kid you not, I had Dilthorpe in my team because I owned him last year, and he's actually cheaper now, I think, than what he was a starting price last year. Had him the whole year, and I think he was top 6 for total points in the end. So I'm definitely not scared to go that pick, but I thought I'd have a look and see what happens. I kind of chickened out at the end, I guess, but Crows are on a good run at the moment, and I think Thilthorpe will actually do pretty well. Now, in terms of the other forwards, this thing I'm talking about, Thilthorpe, he doesn't have to go that big. You kind of just need him to keep pace, I guess, with these higher forwards, because they're all kind of inconsistent. Like Sanders dropped to 57 last night. I actually had him in my team and reversed the trade, so I'm glad I did that, because he was probably the one I'm the third most confident in. So yeah, I just thought I could probably get him for cheaper than 520, and I will now if I do get him. So I'll probably get him in after his buy. But yeah, all that Thilthorpe or Durham or whoever, all that pick has to do is kind of, keep pace with these guys to a degree, so that you can get those higher end players like Baz or whoever, because we're going to run out of money otherwise. So yeah, I don't think it matters too much who you pick out of these guys who are kind of like, on average, what are they? About 8th down to around 20th. Like there's not too much difference at all in the scoring. So I guess just kind of pick one that you're confident with, or find a reason to pick one and do it. So what I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to go with the crowd on this one, and McInerney's going to go for Durham. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about the Durham pick. Now, he looked good last week, but we look at his CBAs, right, for the year. Here he is. So that's 75% he got last week. That's not new. He was kind of getting that at the start of the year. He's had high CBAs in quite a few of these games. He scored good against Brisbane and the Giants, so that's good pick there. Then Fremantle, he was quiet. Most players are struggling to score against them. And then Richmond, we don't count because that was an injury game. But what worries me is looking at this first kind of 7 weeks. 4 of those weeks he had, I'd call them significant CBAs, and didn't really score with them. But yeah, I guess the other thing is kind of nervous because of Essendon's tendency to just chop and change their midfield mix all the time. Brad Scott's gone, but even still, like they're still doing it. Like Merritt now is to half back, so I think we're going to go with it though, just because of the amount of trades, and I think he's one that later on as well, if it's not working out, he'll probably make a little bit of money at least, and you could probably just flick him. So could be I don't know, what would you call it, like a luxury or correction trade later. If I can get these guys in cheap, and then just, if they don't all work out, maybe just flick one at the end or flick 2 of them. I don't know. So yeah, it's a hard time of year, I think, to really know what to do. But I think, yeah, Durham's got to come in for McInerney. So I think I'll run with that. Now, Anderson has to go. He's gotten to the bye. He's done making money, I think. So you're going to swing Murdoch into the middle, keep him on field for at least another week. And I'm going to get... no, I'm not going to get Lake. Who am I going to get? I think I'm going to go... Right. So I'm going to go Henry out as well. And I know he's only made 23k, so it's like a big Supercoach no getting rid of him. But I do need the money. I can't wait around for Henry to come back into the team and then suddenly, try and get him back to a low break even so he makes money. It's not going to happen. I can't wait for it. So he's got to go because 184k, we just got to reshuffle funds and take the hit. Like, I'm losing a trade. I have no choice, really. So yeah, Lake will come in for Henry. Lake didn't score that great, but I don't know, there's something about him. I thought he looked good and just really had a dip. So I think the coaches are going to enjoy that. He's kept his spot, and even over Philippou. So it's probably a good sign. I mean, Philippou will definitely come back in, but don't know. It'll probably be at Butler's expense, you'd think, if he doesn't perform. So now for the upgrades. So I got 536k to use here. There's not really anyone in the midfield that I want for that. As I said, I'm pretty clear on the 3 midfielders that I want, and more so the 2 that I want. So it's got to be a forward. And because Durham has not had his bye yet, I'm not wanting to get in another player that hasn't had his bye. So that kind of narrows it down. I was thinking Bailey. He's got a pretty good run home. Took, he hasn't had his bye. I don't like Horn Francis as a pick. Just can't trust him. Role changes, durability, things like that. Dummy spits. And then, yeah, the rest of them, as I said, you can kind of throw a blanket over them, but Max Hall's pretty cool, I guess. And I feel like his CBAs could go at any time, though. Ross is kind of like that. And then Chad Warner was the other one that kind of interests me. Now, Warner's not the one I'm bringing in, but he still could be. He's so cheap, really. Now, as I said, you only really need them to keep pace, whoever this player is going to be. But the Swans haven't had their bye yet. So is that next week or the week after? That kind of put me off. If I'm getting Durham, then yeah, I don't really want the other player being on the bye as well. Yeah, round 15 for him. So yeah, I don't want to bring in a player and have him miss out next week. And I don't really put too much emphasis on the buys. And My team's pretty evenly spread for the buys as well, but yeah, I don't want to be doing that. I've already had a couple of horrific buy rounds. So if I go back to, I made a short list of players that I wanted earlier, like earlier in the year, probably about 6 rounds in, and up forward, the guy that I wanted was Took. So I think I'm going to go with him. It leaves me with 66k, which should help me next week get one of those mids that I wanted. Or worst case scenario, we get that F6. So I think I want the F6 to be Sanders at this rate. He's going to drop in price. Could probably get him after his buy for a bit cheaper. The one that's doing my head in is Warner, though, because I think Warner will go for that like safe 90 for the rest of the year. But then I think about Took, and what he did post-buy last year was pretty crazy. I think he went like 115 or something like that. Something crazy. Yeah, and he's already had the buy. So, I don't know. A lot of indecision here. It definitely feels like it's harder to get a read on the gut feel. It was a lot easier earlier in the year. Things seemed a lot clearer with what player was doing what. But yeah, we kind of reach this point in the forward line every year. I always try and hold off upgrading my forwards as much as I can until things become clearer. But once again, it's not. So yeah. So if I hit complete on them, we'll see what the team looks like. Oops. So yeah, it's not too bad. We're projected for 2041. I think I'm going to captain Heaney against Port. I don't really trust Gawn against Essendon. Nothing against Gawn, but Essendon is just a bit of a black hole for Ruckman. Grundy, I actually flirted with the idea of trading Grundy out, if I'm honest. Grundy down to Jackson sounds absolutely insane because Jackson's not playing this week. But Grundy's own brother traded him out. There's got to be something in that. And then you have Dean Cox say that he's going to be probably rested before the end of the year. There's a lot of money on his head for, someone that's being talked about like that. So yeah, Jackson's cheap. Could have made me 100k, but yeah, I think I would have been inclined to do it if Jackson wasn't on the buy. And I mean, I still might do it if I'm honest, but only a couple of hours left until the next game, so probably not. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. Maybe I could even still get rid of Durham and put Warner in instead. Definitely more confident in Warner, which I never thought I'd say about Warner with any other player. But yeah, that 90. I mean, if you have a look at Warner, I owned him late last year, and he was an absolute roller coaster. But his floor has definitely picked up this year. So that shitty 68 against Brisbane, but he hasn't. Oh, and a 46 against Geelong, right? So he doesn't like those those really good teams, or what are normally really good teams. Apart from that, though, everything's been like 80s, 90s, 100s. Oh, only a couple of tons, but yeah, it's kind of everything's in that like 85 to high 90s range. So it's nice and safe. And he's never really been that kind of player. I just wonder if McInerney being out is going to affect him. So he may get higher CBAs now, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to score better. What's it look like? Let's just see. If I do get him, let's say Durham out, and we get Warner instead. Just bear with me. I'm kind of messing around as I'm talking. Yeah, pretty much leaves me with no money, which is a problem. And Warner has the buy. I guess Durham had the buy next week as well, so it doesn't really matter. But it's hard to ignore him for that price. A lot less question marks than Durham, that's all. So what basically will determine this for me in the end is what I can work out for next week. So Baz, I think, is going to lose money this week. He's got a higher break even. I don't think he'll get it against the Suns. Let's say he goes a flat 100. He's probably going to lose like 20k or something and be just under 600. I don't think I can raise 600 for next week. What's Anderson and Dawson doing? Dawson's going to have a tiny break even. Anderson's already had the bye too, so he's probably not going to get the 120 against Geelong, you'd think. Probably going to cop the tag from Mullen. So it could be him. Ideally, he gets kept to like a, I don't know, tagged out to a 70 or something, or a 60. We can pick him up for like under 550, I reckon, next week. But then how do I get there? That's the problem. So let's say I do go Warner over Durham, and I've basically got to get there from scratch. Yeah, how am I going to do it? Artie Jones, what's he going to be priced at? He can go. Probably not much. Probably all, I don't know, 255, something like that, just off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough unless I get rid of Murdoch. Oh, yeah, see? That 60 grand, that is very important. So I guess if I use my own logic, I don't see Durham going too much worse than Warner. At the worst, I think he'll go like in the 80s. So I think, yeah, we'll probably have to go with Durham. And then, yeah, I can just correct that later. If it's absolutely terrible, then yeah. Wow, this video has been a bit longer than I expected, 16 minutes. So yeah, that's how indecisive I am. I'm probably trying to convince myself here. Now, that leads me into my last point. Just trying to convince myself, stuff like that. Now, the reason I started doing these videos in the first place, and I've said it all along, it was to try and keep myself accountable. I think you play the game a lot differently when you know people are watching and things like that. And all I ever really wanted to do was, kind of share what I was doing with others and get their thoughts and, just that back and forth with everyone. I've never been one on here to care about subscribers and, high amounts of subscribers or getting maximum views or any of that shit. Like, I really haven't. It's, to tell you the truth, the only reason I've got the subscribers I have is because bigger dogs like DR and Rookie Coach and guys like that, it's because they were the ones that were advocating for my page. It wasn't me. Like, I've never cared. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, I've copped a bit of flack in the last week, and I've noticed that a lot of Supercoach YouTubers in the comments, they've been copping it as well from various places and over the last few weeks. I think people got to remember that, like, we play the game for enjoyment first and foremost. And when you have down weeks, I reckon there's no problem with complaining about it. Like I said, this channel is just, it's basically like a diary, like a Supercoach diary for me. I'm not doing it for views. I don't care. Like, if you get something out of it, you do. If you don't, you don't. Like, I'm not bothered by it. And yeah, if I have 3 bad weeks in a row, I don't feel apologetic for complaining about it at all. And I don't think any Supercoach on YouTube should. And I don't think the others do either. Like, they complain and it's like, I don't watch their videos because I'm also a big viewer. And I don't think, oh, why is he complaining kind of thing? Because we all play the game. We know what it's like, okay? The difference is we're the ones putting ourselves out there and others aren't. And I guarantee you that everyone gets pissed off about it. If you don't, then you're either not putting the time into your research and stuff into the game, or you're just a far bigger person than I am or they are. So there's that. Now, the other thing is, someone suggested that maybe I act like the players owe me something. Well, in the moment when you're pissed off, then yeah, probably, again, I think all people on YouTube that play Supercoach, they act like that. We don't actually mean it, but in the same token, we don't owe you anything either. We don't owe these people anything. I've had people, start to get annoyed because I don't make my trade videos on a Thursday before the games start or things like that. And again, we don't owe anyone anything. And I don't really give a shit if it pisses people off, because I do the channel for my own reasons. And I'm sure that the other YouTubers do. I mean, it's such a niche subject. None of us are making any money off it or any real money off of it. It's not like anyone's trying to go viral or anything. It's really, the community is pretty bloody good in general. It's just some seem to feel entitled and does my head in sometimes, I think those other YouTubers are probably a bit better than me at just ignoring it, but I wanted to say something because it pisses me off. And probably more so when I see these other super coaches, they're the ones getting potted. Yeah, that probably annoys me more, to be honest, because some of them, guys like DR, like they go above and beyond. Honestly, the amount of good shit that they do for people and charities and all that, like, yeah, I don't understand how people can get so annoyed. It's bizarre. Like if you're waiting for YouTubers to do their trade so you can copy or whatever, like that's on you. It's not on us. And yeah, if we get annoyed, we get annoyed. We're human too. We're just playing the game. The only difference is we put our thoughts on the screen each week and you don't. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. And if I lose subscribers over it, you know what? I really don't give a shit because I've never been in it for that, as I said. So yeah, what you get is what you get. I'm human. I'm putting it out there. That's that. Rip my trades to shreds. Have a good round, and I'll see you in the review.